Okay, here we are in game one of this best of three between Aftermath Snoxtar here in the blue Infernal and his teammate and his opponent Aftermath's TheoRy. And they are playing here on Furious Resolve, which is, of course, one of the larger maps in the map pool. And we see that Snoxtar is indeed scouting in the right direction. TheoRy is scouting in the wrong direction, but as soon as he sees this Hexen, if he does indeed spot it, he will know. Now, the Hexen decides to walk right through. That does mean, sometimes you stop and leave. In this case, the Hexen has, yeah, so that was a auto move, probably rallied to go there. And what is this? A meat farm. So we have Conclave and Vault opening. And did we just have a, yeah, Theories, Hexen just teleports back with her little dance. Oh, little cabbage stealer out here. Coming out to steal. And now what are you doing? You're just patrolling. And we have Gaunt's rallied, and I'm selected the Vault. The Vault is rallied too. So they're rallied down here. Now what's going to happen? We've got a Hexen first. And we have Hexen on Hexen. It's a brute. They're going to fight over this camp. I like this. The Gaunts get a couple shots away on the Hexen. Her Shroud Skin's gone. We now have an effigy down on the side of TheoRy. And Snoxtar's just going to go ahead and start camping. Or creeping the camp. And it looks like TheoRy gets a Fiend out of that. Now, do they both get Fiend? Wow, I didn't know. All right. Okay. First infested works. Okay, so what was going on there is they were both firing skulls at the same creep, and only one of them was getting fiends out of it, and it was in this case TheoRy getting the fiends out of it. I think they determined that the first person to infest gets it. I'm not sure if that's what they concluded. And now we've got TheoRy right up in the base here, trying to just finish this off and do some damage with those extra fiends he's gotten. Actually doing a good job, and that's a GG out of Snoxtar. Wow, real fast game one. Alright, here we are into game two with Snoxtar here in the blue and TheoRy in the red. And it took me a second there to remember who won that first game, but it was TheoRy winning the game, knowing how creeps work. That's how I'm going to call that one. He knew how the creeping or the infest worked. And here we have Hexen on Hexen already. And I often... Ooh, here we go. I can't tell who's who. TheoRy's the red pajamas. Snoxtar's the blue pajamas. And they tried to get the creeps in on there, but they didn't. TheoRy getting enough pot shots off that Snoxtar's Shroud Skin is almost gone. But Snoxtar doesn't care. Go to steal a cabbage and run. He's just here to steal cabbages. It's like, I hope you don't like cabbage. And off right back home. We have no one on Therium, so that tells me a little something that we've got a vault here. Only a single vault. And we're going for a fast shrine. So this is a vault shrine build. It's one of the fastest eco builds you can do, other than being super greedy and go and shrine first. But what he did go for is brute before shrine. And I will sometimes go shrine before brute, which is slightly a little more greedy. And that's just because I'm probably not as good as Snoxtar, and I don't realize that that's not a good build. And he's also got the good micro out here to be able to kill all those creeps well, and also probably get a faster income off that, knowing that the brute there is probably better than putting down an earlier shrine. Now he's got his early shrine. He has, put a ton of workers onto Therium. Now this is also something that you can do in early game like this. If you've overproduced, he had 8 here. He was sending the rest over there. And then when your shrine is up, you just transfer them over to your natural. I don't usually do it that early, so he might have something in mind here. See already, yeah, so he went for a fast grader. And what's TheoRy doing on his side of the map? He's gone for a shrine here and is creeping out his vision tower. And in terms of tech, looks like it's in a similar sort of Therium, brought up a Conclave second, but hasn't gone for that tier 2 yet. So we're getting a fast tier 2 out of Snoxtar. We'll see what that does for him. He's still got 6 on Therium. Very interesting. And only has Fiends, and they're healing up while he teleported back his Hexen there just to, I think, chase away that Fiend. Now there is a Fiend here camping out trying to see, do you have the double Luminite base? And we've got, looks like 7 workers on this one, 10, so we're pretty much at 2 saturated, almost 2 full. Now remember, workers after the first 8 are less efficient. After 12, they're not efficient at all, I understand. Never done actual testing in a custom game to make sure. But that's the word on the street. Now these imps turn to fight. Good on them. TheoRy's imps are some of the toughest imps in the world. If you're up against TheoRy and you see imps coming your way, watch out. They're meanies. They're scrappers. And we got some flash fiends. I like the little new flash effect that goes on that makes them look like they got lightning on their feet. It looks really cool on the smaller units, but you can't really see it on the bigger units as well. I've noticed the Magmadons look like they almost don't have it, and well, everything's been looking cooler in the newest patch, so I'm really excited about that. That one single fiend getting chased all the way back, but getting the scout off, noticing what's going on, while TheoRy is now creeping the Luminite camp, meaning that TheoRy's getting a little bit ahead in the creeping. But now remember, Snoxtar's build was based around this greater shrine. She got up quick. Now, it doesn't look like he's done a lot with that. He's got Plague Axes on the way. Now, one thing I do know is that Snoxtar likes to use that tier 2 as a defensive measure in case he gets pushed early when he's doing maybe more of a tech build or eco build. That allows him to get access to the Manifest Shroud Stone, and that allows him to be, you know, a little better defensively. And we didn't necessarily see that push. Instead, TheoRy's also going eco, and because he started with this double Luminite base, he's now doing really well for Luminite income, and he's got 1, 2, 3 more conclaves going down here. 4 or 5 more conclaves going. I wonder what TheoRy's plan is. Let's wait and find out to see what he's got on the way. But with 6 conclaves, I'm suspecting there's only 1 or 2 things that might be coming out there. Now, Snoxtar, has he got Reaper's Rush coming too? Yes. Okay, so they're both going for the Gaunt upgrades. He's got his 3rd base coming as well, but I think TheoRy's a little ahead in that eco because he went for Luminite first. Double Luminite base. He's actually got the double Therium base already on the way as well. So TheoRy's eco, I think, is definitely doing better here. He's also got the creep advantage. So things are looking ahead for him. His supply is up by 10, which is not a huge advantage at this stage in the game. But remember, he was just about to ramp up his production really serious. As these bases come online, he's going to be able to pump Gaunts and Weavers, which is the other tech that comes out of those conclaves. And, well, we'll see what he does with it, because he's got a pretty strong force now. And it looks like he's just going to be a bit of a bully and take down some of these camps. It looks like he tried to go for the health camp there, but there were some fell hogs there to defend. And yeah, again, maybe using his position to try and steal some camps back, get some scouting knowledge. He probably knows from some of those earlier fiends where he stands in terms of economy wise relative to Snoxtar. And he's going back to get that nice good speed bonus there. Kind of an interesting way to get those Shadow Mastiffs wedged inside the two conclaves there to just make them not be able to get out and get on top of his sconce. I like that. Now with that speedy bonus, rushing over here and clearing this camp again. So I think what TheoRy's plan was is, hey, I'm a little bit ahead. He didn't necessarily win a battle or anything, but he knows that he's ahead in the economy, and his decision is, well, let's just go back, creep these camps, get these other bases on up and running, and then use that new production that I have and just get a couple production rounds out. We can already see what that's turned into in terms of gaunts. The supply lead has now tripled. He was at 10 ahead, now he's at 30 ahead. So again, that's just him, having that game sense to know that my eco is better. If I wait 5 more minutes, my army's going to be even better than his army. Unless, of course, he can do something to pull out. Now, what are the kinds of things that can be done to get back in this? Magmadons, because of their splash, could help. Of course, the Weavers are not going to... They're going to be a pain for that. But something with AoE or splash is going to help. And we see here the two armies clashing and a Nightfall infestation going down on those gaunts. But we have Weavers in the front tanking all this damage, while the gaunts in the back for TheoRy, actually a lot of them are running around, and he might do well to try and push them forward a bit. The only thing that happens when you push them forward, they now become in the range of the gaunts of Snoxtar. And as the brute wall goes down, with Weavers still standing, we see Snoxtar's gaunts being pushed back towards his static D. There is a Shroud Stone here. There are Hellborns in the back now raining down. That's some of that splash damage that he needs to be able to, break through this huge supply lead. Now, I think one thing that you might want to do with your Hellborns, I've done this a few times, is try and micro them a little to hit the gaunts. If they're hitting the Weavers, you want them splashing down a lot on those gaunts so you can get really good use of their splash damage, and sometimes you're missing out on it. See, here we got 2 big splashes. You get a couple of those, and you're going to have a bunch of dead gaunts, especially for upgraded Hellborn, which we don't have, but there's just so many here, and that's going to be a GG out of Snoxtar.